Good afternoon, everybody. It's Stephen and Paul from WinExtra bringing your daily brief of Microsoft news for March 30th, 2011. And we've got a heavy show today. We're going to try and get to all of it, but I'm not sure where we're actually going to end up, because right now I'm pissed.
I think we're going to end up running long today, and you know what? It is actually very funny that you are pissed, because this is like the second time we've had to record the intro of the show because Hodgson couldn't get the words out. Like, for those of you who are on audio right now...
4 weeks!
Why don't you tell people what you mean by 4 weeks?
Okay. Nodo is supposed to be rolling out to TELUS customers. Now, as of March 29th, yesterday, it was supposed to start rolling out. Didn't get it yesterday. Didn't get it this morning when I logged in and everything. So I put up on Twitter, I asked what TELUS support, and actually they're really good. They're a good team there. I said, how long before we get our Nodo rollout? And about an hour later, hour and a half later, which is very unusual for them, they come back with, it'll take about 4 weeks for it to roll out.
Hang on now. How can it take that long? For a rollout that is supposed to start today, or yesterday, case may be, how can it take that long to roll out Windows Phone 7 update to like 12 Canadians?
But, okay, granted, that may actually be pretty close to the truth.
That may actually be close to the truth when you think about it.
I'm not going to argue that point, but what I am saying is like 4 freaking weeks?
Well, you know what? You're not the only one there. I mean, if you look at, if you actually look at the schedule for where Nodo was rolling out in the US, okay, there's only one phone that is actually scheduled to get it.
And that's from T-Mobile.
Yes, that's the HTC 7, right? That's the only phone that is scheduled to get it. And in fact, it's not just you that's being pissed off. It's everybody. Even Paul Thurrott, of the other Windows podcast, as we'll call it. I mean, he got pissed off enough that he's after going the route of just installing it himself. And I'm telling you, I mean, hackers have found a way to install the Nodo update, and you don't actually have to break the phone. Well, you do kind of have to break the phone, but it's like one of the fiddliest hacks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right. First off, you have to developer unlock your device, sideload a registry file, edit the registry file, then you have to download and sideload install this other app. And it's basically like a VNC client, which makes it appear as if your phone is operating out of Hungary. Okay?
Oh,
then you disable all the network connections on your phone, Wi-Fi and data, and then you start the timer, like a stopwatch. And you hook it up to Zoom, and you see how long it takes for the update to fail. And then once it's failed, you re-enable your data connection, put it into Zoom again, and then just half a second before the original time of failure starts, you're supposed to disconnect it, and the thing will update. And people are doing this. They're getting it to work after multiple tries. But this is what it's come down to now for people to get their updates. Because, and if you look at the terminology that people are using, like Paul Thurrott says, and he knows damn well that it's not just Microsoft.
Yes. This is not Microsoft.
Yeah, and he's saying Microsoft has done everything it can to prevent me and other Windows Phone customers from getting the first real software update. But as you're experiencing right now, it's not Microsoft.
No.
Tell us.
Like, they came out and they said point blank. Like, I'll end up posting this, but because I've got the screenshot of the message that came over Twitter. But 4 weeks for it to roll out. I'm sorry, that is bullshit.
Yeah, and as I said, and I'll say it again, how can it take 4 weeks to roll out an update to 12 people? And I wasn't being sarcastic. I know the troubles that you went through just trying to get hold of a Windows Phone 7 in Canada.
Yeah, it was...
Can't be that many of them.
It was the only one in the store.
Yeah.
Other than their showpiece.
This isn't the only mobile operator up there either.
No, Bell has two brands, Rogers has 2 brands, and TELUS has 2 brands.
Yeah. So between them all, there might be 40 people. TELUS at best has 12.
Oh, God.
That's nearly the entire population of Canada.
Oh, shut up. Quit belittling my anger.
I do not belittle your anger. You managed to do that yourself, sir.
Anyway.
Speaking of Windows Phone 7 and updates that people can't get, do you know what's coming in a future update?
Who gives a crap?
For those of us who do give a crap, NFC support, near field communication.
Like I said, who gives a crap?
Dude! Just because
no, seriously. NFC is cool. It's the new buzzword.
Well, it's not just the new buzzword. No, NFC support has been around for. It came in gingerbread in Android, but Nokia devices have actually supported it for quite a long time.
Japan has been using NFC for years. We're only just catching up now, and I'm still telling you, it's. Who cares?
Well, anybody who's interested in maybe RFID tag reading, peer-to-peer communications, peer-to-peer networks with your phone, or payment systems using your phone so you don't have to carry a credit card or a debit card around. NFC will enable all of that on this side of the water. You know, the stuff that the Japanese have been doing since, Hudson was 10.
Well, yeah, okay. But then you've also got people that are like, okay, the president of Sybase 365, which is a unit within Sybase, and he's going like, this is, believe it when I see it. It's just not going to be a massive consumer item.
Well, it's going to be one of those items that you don't realize is becoming a consumer item as more and more people start to use it. It's much like when plastic, when credit cards, when debit cards, when ATM machines started to roll out. Small few people start to use them, then more and more and more, and then eventually it becomes norm, and everybody's using it without realizing it. And that's the great thing about payment systems like that.
Who cares? Anyway.
I do. If I can carry a phone and not carry a wallet, that makes me a much happier man.
Yeah, that's going to be really handy when the police can just snatch your phone out of your hand and go through it without a warrant.
They can snatch my wallet out of my hand and go through it without a warrant, too.
No, they can't. They have to ask for you to... Anyway, different country probably.
It's in my pocket.
Remember Kin Studio?
Yes.
It's coming back, possibly.
Yeah, but this would be another update, Hudson. Forget about it.
Here's the thing. I'm waiting 4 weeks for Nodo. What the fuck is Mango going to take? 10? 12?
Oh no, there's 12 of you. It could take at least 2 years.
Anyway.
Those of you on audio, Hudson just flipped me the bird. You should see him. He's got like this steam coming out of his ears and everything.
It reminds me of a old image of mine that a friend of mine on WinExtra forums did. He photoshopped. It was in a place I lived before, and it was like he had a picture. He had red in the face, and he had steam coming out the ears. I don't know whatever happened to that image because I'd almost like to put that up as my avatar some days. Mary Jo Foley has a story about the Windows Phone Mobile Studio, the de-hipsterized version of Kin Studio.
So it's Kin Studio with a new name and slightly revamped interface to for Windows Phone 7. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, good. Works for me.
When are we supposed to be seeing this?
It's still rumored it's going to happen. We may not even see it. It's still a rumor.
You know what else is rumored is going to happen?
Sun's going to come up.
That a lot of nerds are going to move out of their mother's basement. See it actually happening.
Windows 8 is apparently going to include a time machine rival called History Vault.
Well, doesn't Windows already have a time machine rival? It's called System Restore, Shadow Copy.
Well, Shadow Copy and System Restore are kind of, they aren't quite the same thing.
Well, they are kind of. Shadow Copy is for backing up your files. System Restore is for restoring your system.
Yeah.
Time Vault is a hybrid between the two.
Yeah, and I guess what basically I think all History Vault's going to be is going to be as an interface on the Shadow Copy.
Probably, and a few enhancements and that sort of stuff. I can see them rolling System Restore into this and all that. Again, a much easier thing to do. Right. Anyway, Apple people have something similar, and Windows 7, even XP users have System Restore. So
Yeah, and you know what really gets me is you go to all these tip sites and they keep telling you to turn off System Restore.
Dude, that's the worst possible
Stupidest idea
to do on a Windows machine is turn off System Restore. Because when the shit does hit the fan, you have no way of going back.
And at least, 99% of the time, System Restore will save your ass.
Enough to get your data off anyway before you have to wipe it or whatever the case may be.
Continuing along with the Microsoft Apple type of thing.
Still at that?
App Store.
Go on.
Well, apparently, I guess Microsoft's bringing in a linguistics expert.
It's getting ridiculous at this point, but you know what? Seriously, I don't see how Apple has a leg to stand on. Because here we go, right?
They've been granted the trademark.
You have a ton of app stores out there that maybe not called App Store, but they're referred to as app stores.
Yeah.
You already have app stores out there that are called app stores. Amazon just launched an app store. It is literally has App Store in the title. It's App Store for Android. Apple is fighting a very uphill battle with this one. If they get it, quite frankly, I'll be surprised.
They've already gotten it. Well, that's what Microsoft is trying to get it thrown out.
What makes it even worse then? Well, look, here's the point, right? If they've already gotten it, Amazon wouldn't have launched an app store with apps.
Okay, but here's the difference. Amazon's App Store is one word.
Doesn't matter.
No, but this is what the differentiation that Amazon is making. It's one word and it's part of a whole idea. App Store for Android. No, that's the argument.
That's not an acceptable differentiation. Because if that was the case, it would be the same as when you're sued for trademark infringement because you have a domain name that sounds exactly the same as it. No, that doesn't stand. That's bollocks. Amazon wouldn't have launched theirs unless they were more than fairly sure that if it did go to court...
Yeah, but Amazon, you gotta admit, Amazon has been pulling some pretty funky moves lately, like the whole this whole cloud music thing.
Yeah, but isn't this whole cloud music thing just a fancy Dropbox?
Basically, yeah.
I mean, it's a fancy Dropbox with 5 gigs of storage, and then they're saying if you buy music off us, you put it in Dropbox, you get 20 gigs of storage on top of it. And it's, I mean, and Amazon already, they have their CDN network, whatever it's called, and they're going to push this into video and docs, and they even say that, right? They even say it. You can upload more than just music. I mean, when you actually install the app and put it on Android and that sort of stuff, you're given 4 default folders: your pictures, your documents, your video. So it's just a fancy Dropbox, but it's interesting because they do have the music store behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cheeky little kids.
Yeah.
Big kids.
Yeah.
Rich kids.
Yeah. This next story is one you put up, I guess because you're an Xbox user.
What happened to you and getting your free Xbox with...
Didn't happen. Because, get this, the offer was only for TELUS corporate stores or third-party stores. I got mine at Black's. Alright, now you would think that was a third-party store, except that TELUS owns Black's. But it's not a corporate store. You
know what? I challenge that. I'd go kick up a stink about that. I really would. And I challenge it under false advertising. Let's see what happens.
Anyway.
I'm sure if you bitch and moan enough, the way you bitch and moan, 24 hours a day, Google Talk just keeps going off. Screw that.
It's not Canadian. It's not that bad, folks. Trust me, it's not.
But anyway, onto this stuff. Xbox 360 DVDs get an extra gigabyte of space in the new update. That is okay. This is supposedly right. We're not sure. Now, I did sign up yesterday thanks to a link you sent me.
And was I cranky about it?
Yeah, you were like, sign up for this, you effing git, so that we can have information to run on WinExtra. Telling me what to do with my own Xbox. But basically, we're looking for beta testers right now for the next dashboard update, and you sign up for it, and in about 2 weeks' time they'll be shipping out DVDs and stuff, which let people try it out. But by signing up for it, you're actually put under an embargo where you can't talk about it.
Yes, so we won't be able to talk. We won't. Paul's not going to be able to talk about it. Anyway.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, apparently, on every Xbox DVD, there's a gig of space reserved. So, you know, if your DVD holds 7.95 gigs on a dual layer, there's only 6.95 that is actually available for developers and stuff to write to. The other gig is used for security information and that sort of stuff to make sure that they're not being copied. But obviously that's a whole load of crap as soon as you go to any uTorrent or any BitTorrent client, and there you go. So the question is Microsoft dropping its piracy protection on Xbox discs, or are they introducing something new? I suspect with the new dashboard update that's coming out, it's something new, but it is considerably smaller. And as what we've seen in the rumor mill, we've got no sort of verifiable sources on this one, but the new security protection is called XGD3. So
who
knows? But it could mean a gig more space on your discs for. I don't know.
Sad news from Microsoft today.
Not really.
No, there's sad news from Microsoft today. Their marketing chief is leaving after 22 years.
Not really.
Not really what? She's not really leaving?
Sad news.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so Mitch, it's a woman, by the way. Mitch Matthews, she was the head of Microsoft's marketing department for, as Hudson there said, pretty much the last 22 years. And, you know, she's been involved with basically everything through the universal ad campaigns and all that sort of stuff. And now that she's leaving, and of course Microsoft over the last year or so have been branching out to other other ad agencies and that sort of stuff. But apparently in the US now, Microsoft is pretty much exclusively going to be going with Starcom MediaVest for all its US advertising needs, and she's staying around long enough just to see that transition happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? What have we done pretty much consistently since day one of starting the show back when it was audio only? Bitched and moaned about marketing. Now we're getting a change at the head of marketing, so let's see what happens.
Yeah. More bad news more for Bill Gates, or positive. I don't know.
This isn't bad
I know.
news.
This is funny stuff, actually. But all the talk today in the blogosphere, or at least, you know, the tech blogosphere, has been the publishing of Paul Allen's book. And how...
Well, trolled up his arse.
Well, apparently it's to a point where it's created a rift between Paul Allen and Bill Gates. Because
basically he badmouths Gates pretty much the whole way through his book. Now, obviously, we haven't read it. It only came out today. So we have to sort of deal with, like, the New York Times extracts and all that sort of stuff.
If you can get past their paywall.
If you can get past it. Twitter. And basically, he talks about, like, Bill Gates, you know, trying to rip him off, get shares, and all this kind of stuff, and Hudson flicking his fingers up. But, you know, he basically gives out that he didn't get enough credit, he didn't get enough shares of Microsoft, and he was responsible for bigger ideas, all this kind of stuff. Just leave the dog. The dog is fine. The dog's happy.
I got company. Hang on, I'm going to pause it. Sorry about that, folks. I had someone drop by that I couldn't afford to slough off. I don't do that to my friends. Anyway, we were talking...
You have friends!
Amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
I don't know, dude. I think they're imaginary. There's not that many people in Canada for you to have friends.
we were talking about Paul Allen's book.
We were talking about Paul Allen's book, and as I was saying before you know, ditched on the show, that basically he's come out and he's been bad-mouthing Bill Gates. He's been talking about how how Bill Gates tried to cheat him out of shares. He's been talking about...
while he was sick with cancer, too.
While he was sick with cancer, he's been talking about how he's was responsible for... didn't get enough credit for ideas, didn't get enough shares from Microsoft. Now, you wouldn't mind, this guy is, like, still 57th richest billionaire in the world with 13 billion. But all of Microsoft fortune.
Here's an interesting thing. The Wall Street Journal, or someone went out and talked to a couple of people at Microsoft, or who were at Microsoft at the same time, and who were present at meetings that Paul Allen that said he was at. He wasn't there.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of fluff and a lot of, I was actually here and I was responsible for this. And then when, somebody did actually some investigative journalism and went and talked to the people who were there, and they were like,
no, he wasn't there. He had nothing to do with it.
So I mean, let's be serious. Paul Allen's been on a pretty weird bent this year.
Yeah.
First he's suing every major technology company out there because of his patent portfolio that he has with that startup that is a patent troll, basically. Yeah. And now he's lashing out at Bill Gates, which is, I don't know, maybe he's lonely in his way. Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Seriously, right? Did you see the pictures of Paul Allen that were in the articles you read today, and he's smiling? How can you have $13 billion and not get your teeth whitened? Or not get them done, even? Seriously? The guy's mouth looks like he should be down here in fucking redneck Alabama chewing Copenhagen and, and he's got $13 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of us that don't have the money, fine, no worries. But for those that do have the money, there's no worries.
Yeah. Okay, this last story we're going to end off with is actually a pretty. This one's going to hit the fan like big time. Like there is a lawsuit waiting for this one. And
screw you, Network World, for breaking this story in small pieces.
Yes, but apparently Samsung is installing keyloggers on its laptop computers.
Yeah, so you remember back when Sony did this in 2005?
Cost them, what, $500 million?
It cost them more than that. Yeah, it cost them close to $600 million, plus all the recalls and all that sort of stuff that they had to do, right? And this was stuff that was being installed on discs that people put in their computer, on the CD. Well, apparently Samsung have just been flat out putting a keylogger on the machine.
And they've admitted to it.
They've admitted to it, and their excuse is, we just wanted to monitor performance. Now, the keylogger that they use tracked everything.
Everything.
Every single thing you typed. And this was on multiple Samsung machines. And how it actually came about was this guy was installed, we got a new laptop, ran security software on it before he did all his updates and stuff, and found it on it. And then he thought nothing of it. He thought maybe it was just a fluke or something. But he brought it back to the store when there was something wrong with the graphics card or something wrong with the screen.
And got a different model.
A new one, a different model, and there was the exact same keylogger again. So he logged the complaint, logged the support ticket, got in contact with their support. First off, got told, oh no, we'd have nothing to do with that. We only make the hardware. And when it eventually got escalated, he was told, that's there so that we can monitor performance of the machines and improve. Did Samsung learn nothing from Sony? Oh, hang on. These are corporations.
Yes.
Don't learn. Yeah, so this, folks, is going to be big.
It's... We're only seeing the beginning of it.
If you have a Samsung laptop or computer,
read this post.
We would suggest that you run antivirus software. And go look on the Microsoft site for Trojan removal tools that most stuff don't actually pick up.
Yeah.
You'll find just do a search on the Microsoft site. And
also look for a folder underneath Windows, capital S, capital L, because that's where all the files are getting dumped into.
The software is storing stuff.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
So if you have that, you could be in a bother there. Dude, seriously?
Bad news. But if you happen to have a Samsung and you happen to find it on yours, let us know. Drop us a line at podcast@winextra.com, or leave us a comment to this post, or Paul will be kind enough to give you the voicemail number.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, it's 251-281-8730. Lines are open 24 hours a day for you to leave us a voicemail, or just send us a text message and let us know whether or not you have it on your Samsung, or if you have a Samsung and it's not there, you know, it might help us try to figure out how long ago it started.
Yeah.
You tell us what model it is and when you bought it, and it's not on it.
Yeah.
You know, we might be able to figure that out too.
Yeah. But on that note, that's Paul. I'm Steve. This has been WinExtra's Daily Brief for March 30th, 2011. We'll see you all tomorrow, everybody. Goodbye.
Have a good one, folks.